Welcome to Travel Michigan. I'm Dave Lorenz, along with Michelle Grinnell, and we're happy to have you back with us again this week. Michelle, where are we headed to first?
We're headed to St. Joseph, Michigan, and we are talking with Jill Stone, who is the executive director of St. Joseph today. And you know, Dave, I spend a lot of time down in the St. Joe area. My husband's family's down there. That's where I got married. But you know, I was looking at this information for the architectural, art, and historical heritage of St. Joe guided tours that we're going to talk with Jill about, and there's a lot of things I didn't know. So here to tell us all about that is Jill. Welcome to the show.
Oh, no problem. Hello.
So St. Joe is a beautiful beach town right on Lake Michigan. Talk a little bit first, kind of set the scene for these tours, and then we can kind of get into what folks will find out on the tours.
Well, the tours actually start right in front of our Welcome Center, which is where I work, which is right in the heart of our downtown on State Street. And they kind of go around along Lake Boulevard, which when you look to your right at that point, you can also see Lake Michigan, the beach, the fountain, and all kinds of good things as well. But they go through different types of items, whether it be art, if it's the art tour, or historical monuments as well on that tour.
So are there different tours along themes, or are you going to learn a little bit about architecture, art, history as you go on all the tours?
Actually, they're separate. One tour is guided by the Krasl Art Center group. Those are the art tours. And then there's also heritage or historical tours guided by the Heritage Museum. And then actually there's one date where they do two tours, and it ends up being 2 hours. So each tour is an hour long.
Well, you know, St. Joseph, it is, as Michelle mentioned, a really beautiful little town, but it's a little town. So the architectural tour, what types of things can people expect to see?
Well, the architectural heritage tour is kind of different homes. I know that they focus on the monuments when they discuss things and just the overall history of the area. For example, the St. Joseph Welcome Center is actually formerly a bank from the early 1900s, in which you can actually still see our vault. So they have the groups kind of start and sign in here, and then they kind of head from there.
Nice.
And do they stop along the way at the carousel? Because that's a pretty incredible piece of art and history, if you will.
Well, the carousel, actually, the one that we have right now, was built in 2009, so it's a revised version of the carousel. I would imagine that they may comment on the carousel's actual history of the Silver Beach Amusement Park that was there before, but it's not necessarily as historical as some of the other things along the way.
You know, they can rehab these old carousels so they look brand new. I can't tell the difference anymore with some of these around the state. They're just beautiful. And Michelle actually had a group in St. Joseph earlier this spring, right?
Correct.
And I know that all these adults on this tour from all over the world, they just wanted to go round and round on that carousel.
Oh, absolutely. It's the carousel is for all ages, and it makes everyone a kid.
So your tours, I know they only go through like the end of August for this year, and I know some of them kind of talk about the history a little bit. Can you give us any little tips on maybe some of the stories that are told during that history tour?
I think they touch on the Wright brothers when they were involved with Kitty Hawk, because that's actual culture and historical facts from this area. And then also, you know, the other side of things, we're talking about history right now. Obviously, you have the Silver Beach Amusement Park Museum. You have the different banks and buildings that were downtown, the different old speakeasies that used to be here. And then from the other side, you also have the art tours, which are focused more on the monuments and the sculptures that people will see and that the boaters actually get to see when they're going through the river.
And these are guided tours. They're 1 hour long, typically, and they usually start at 1 o'clock, Fridays, Saturdays. Which days do they run?
Fridays at 1.
Fridays at 1 o'clock.
Yep.
You know, when I travel around the state, this is actually one of the things I always try to find, because I think that you really can't experience a place until you know a little bit about the story of the people who have been there for a long time and the people who have kind of changed that place over time. So this is something I will definitely do. Fridays, 1 o'clock, downtown St. Joseph, and get a feeling for that entire area. It really is a beautiful little town.
Well, yeah, and whether you're looking to learn about the art or the history, depending on what day you come and see us, I think having that knowledge of either helps give you a more idea of the personality of the town. And the tours are actually free. They just ask for a donation for their organizations if you're willing to donate, but the actual tour is free.
Jill, talk about some of the other things. I mean, the beautiful thing about downtown St. Joseph is it is right off the water. It's just a short walk down the bluff. Talk about, either before the tours or after the tours, or if they're in town for a long weekend, some of the other things that they can do while they're in town.
Well, that's right. We actually have quite a bit going on, especially since it's the summer season and everybody likes to get out and about. On Fridays specifically, on Friday nights, we have our Friday night concert series, and that's at 7:30 at the John E. N. Howard Band Shell. So if they hit the tour early, they can go grab lunch, or they can go wait it out and grab dinner, or go shopping, and then they can join us for a free concert at 7:30 on Fridays. And then on Saturdays, we actually have our farmers market located right along the bluff. That's always fantastic to go to as well. The first Sunday of each month, we have Antiques on the Bluff. That there's one exception. We actually will be having that Labor Day weekend versus the following weekend this year. And then we also have municipal band concerts on Sundays that are free at 3:30 and 7:30. We have movies in the park on Saturday nights, featuring a whole lineup of different types of movies good for the family every Saturday for the next 8 weeks. So all kinds of fun and activities going on in St. Joseph.
It's a beautiful little town. Everybody enjoys St. Joseph when they come to visit. And Michelle mentioned how she heads out to that area quite a bit. I agree. It's a great town. Recommend you check it out and ask about these architectural art and historical heritage guided tours in St. Joseph. It's going to be a great way to learn more about that great town. For more information, just go to stjoetoday.com. Joe, stjoetoday.com. We're going to find out what's happening up in Traverse City during the film festival next, right here on Travel Michigan, where your trip begins at michigan.org.